Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is the tier list for 3.4.13, and this is more towards to this is focused on PvP content, and then the reso here we'll be looking at is only at R2 because you know every like R0, R2, R6 there's a major difference between their reso, right? So this one here is more focused towards R2, and then the content we're gonna priority. The first one obviously is gonna be our knockout. If you're not a PvE player, you don't focus on Miracle Challenge, then Knockout is your main income for your Shimmer records, so Knockout will be the highest priority. Then the second one will be either Beat Bar and Point War, and then the rest of the PvP content like Triple Threats and RTA as well. So this tier list here is continued back from the tier list 2 months ago, and we're gonna have some changes for it. And then I added a new tier here, which is the WTAF, which is what the actual fuck. Like this Esper they're gonna put in this tier here means they are actually ridiculously strong, or they are the most seen Esper in the PvP meta. This tier list here is based on my own experience, on my own observation, like based on my tier, based on the beat bar observation, based on my point war range, which is the kind of like very top. So if you are at like let's say point war 16 below, or maybe somewhere 16 to 17, maybe the meta team that you face might be different, or maybe you are still facing like Tolan Anna, then the tier list might be different. But this tier list here is based on my own experience and based on like what is the famous Esper or that people are using currently in the meta, right? So we're gonna go through with the few new Esper here, and then we're gonna go through with the old Esper first. But I think I'll go through with the old Esper first, which is we're gonna adjust like who is gonna be in this tier. Why I make this tier is because some player comment previously from the tier list, they think that the PvP tier list can separate into more detail. Like within meta tier here, right? Maybe some Esper is no longer that meta. Let's say like maybe here is gonna be good until like a certain tier, but until when you reach until a certain tier that maybe it's actually get countered easily, then maybe it's no longer at the meta. So I think it's good that we actually separate into a few one more tier here to make it more clear that there's actually one tier higher that is like they're very strong, and you actually maybe seen them in a lot of content as well. I mean in a lot of team build. Okay, so let's start now. I think the first Esper from what I'm looking at the meta tier can be pushed up is definitely going to be Sakura, because Sakura is not just fixed into a Wii U team. Sakura can also be fit into any kind of team that as long as you need a healer or a buffer, because her R2 effect here is also very good, the buff is very good, and then can help you to block control effect as well, and the healing is a lot more better even than R6 lane, right? And then this tier list here is based on R2s, that's why lane here is not until meta tier when she's at R2, but still strong in a way. So Sakura definitely worth the WTAF tier. And then the next one I would like to push is gonna be Wii U. Like even Wii U have a counter now with Zihe, right? But having a Zihe doesn't 100% counter a Wii U. It just increase your win rate because Zihe can help you absorb Wii U's damage. But overall, can you kill a Wii U team still depends on do you have a solid DPS or do you have a very strong DPS to kill Wii U. If your team doesn't have a solid DPS to kill Wii U, in the end of the day, you will still get breakdowns and die and get killed by Wii U because Zihe just help absorb. But there's also a limit, which until like let's say Zihe died and then your team will still get killed by Wii U's breakdown. So Wii U is still definitely one of the strongest Esper, even though she have a very solid counter appear to the battle. Then the next one I'll push is also Suje. So even Suje without an R6 here, I would say that Suje's effect is very strong. The true damage here, the puppet art, the damage Suje can provide is still very solid, and I think that she is worth the value. And then the next one I'll push is Chuyao. Like Chuyao value from R0 until R6, every single resonance actually make him better. More DPS, more effect, and more debuff effect as well. Like the R4 here, there we have in what's that called? Incapacitate debuff. R6 effect got all those stuff, but even without those R4, R6 consideration in this tier list here, it's definitely still gonna be one of the WTAF tier. Like in a lot of team, you will still see Chuyao's Chuyao's pairing in the team. It's very solid and very universal. Then the next one I will push up is also Momo. Like Momo, some player will ask like, is R0 Momo enough? To be honest, R0 Momo is already enough to make her shine. As long as you invest her Divinate and make her skill up, and then your equipment is solid enough to cover up her stats. Of course, the higher reso, the better she is, but R0 definitely is already workable. But you will see that because Momo have championship rerun, which is total twice already, so you start to see some player have like R3 Momo or R4 Momo or maybe even R6 Momo. It's definitely doable. Just that is R2 Momo or R0 Momo already used good in PvP? Definitely worth it already. Okay, then the few Esper here I would say is I'll put at the meta. Okay, I'll put Moriyama up as well, because like before that Moriyama is like strong, but it will still get countered easily. But now if you have Zihe in the team here, Moriyama is actually one of the strongest DPS now, and I believe you are starting to see a lot of Moriyama team appear from into the battle now. Okay, then the rest here I think they can remain their tier. And then since this is a R2 tier, right, so I would say that Donna will actually move down now. Like even a Wu Yu team doesn't really need isn't really need Donna in her team. Donna defender role can be replaced with the other Esper as well. Then the rest here I would say I will maintain like Yuhime, not until that tier to be honest. Like if everyone is going for light set, then Yuhime isn't that scary. So I would say Yuhime will stay here. Then the rest here I'll put at meta. Then strong here I think overall I can still remain overall from the R2 effect here. Okay, then the decent here I would push Nora up to strong. I would push Fumitsuki up to strong. Then I would push Raven up to no, I will still remain Raven at decent. But I'll push Nora and Fumitsuki up one more tier is because after some observation and Fumitsuki's observation, I think that their performance for PvP content is actually getting higher and higher. Like previously we can see that Nora and Anna team because of the Hex buff, and then in Beat Bout, in Knockout, in Triple Threat, there's a lot of situation that Nora and Fumitsuki will come in handy. Like Fumitsuki's Pew Pew, the stun is actually freaking annoying. If you're already faced with a Fumitsuki, sometimes you just keep getting stunned and you actually get annoyed by her. And then Nora here, surprisingly, every time she counter attack and the S3 might actually just wipe your team out instantly. So I'll put that as strong. But why am I not putting that at meta? Like if you look at the team, right, you see all these Esper in the meta tier, most probably you're gonna see them in most of the team, right? It's pretty common compared to the strong tier here. So, but I don't think Nora and Fumitsuki is that famous or that strong until the meta tiers as per popularity and the famous and the power. So I would say Nora and Fumitsuki, I'll push it up to strong tier, but not until meta tier. Then overall at R2 tier list here, I think the niche and the bat here will still remain the same. I don't think they have much changes for them for R2. Then we're gonna take a look at the new Esper. So Osana here, I will instantly put it at bat. Like Osana PvP, you want to rely on bleed, very hard, because a lot of player here is trying to play with immunity now, cleanse now. It's very hard to actually let Osana work, and I don't think I've seen any Osana in PvP content. Then Yujing here. Okay, before Yujing, let's talk a lot about Lushang first. Lushang, I'll instantly push up to WTF tier. I believe that if your Lushang is R2, or you will see a lot of R2 Lushang in the PvP content, because at the start of the combat, instantly apply the safeguard is actually a very strong buff and very easy to counter Yuhime, easy to counter Chuyao's all those debuff providing. So, and not just that, silence also works perfectly well in PvP, and not to mention his passive is very strong in PvP as well. So definitely worth the WTF tier, and because of Lushang here, a lot of Moriyama team is actually pairing with Lushang. Then for Yujing here, I personally I'll push her until strong or even at meta tier at R2 effect, right? But personally I will push her up until meta. the reason why I'll push her up to meta, so this tier list is based on R2, right? So if you really want to use a meta Liling team, or if you want to use a Moriyama team, I believe Yijing is one of the Esper choice you actually go for, right? But in higher tier, maybe Yijing's value isn't that high. Because she died easily, but I saw some player showcase that showing me that their point war range that is around 16 to 18, or someone that is 16 below, they are using Yijing Luxiang team with R0 Moriyama, and with their tier range they are doing this team perfectly fine. So with that observation, I think that Yijing definitely can go up to meta tier. But in my tier range, I think Yijing is like strong, not until like meta, but I think in the lower tier range, Yijing is pretty strong, so I would say it balanced it out, so I will put her at meta tier. Right, but you can feel free to comment down if you guys don't agree with Yijing and meta tier. But from my observation, from my tier observation and the lower tier player that sent me their showcase video, I think Yijing is still worth the value for the meta tier if you pair Luxiang and Moriyama team. Because Yijing, don't forget, Yijing also is an immunity provider. Like Gabriel here provides immunity, and then Yijing is one of the few Esper that can provide immunity that is a AoE, and then CD reset, all those stuff is also pretty good. Oh, talking about immunity, I will also push Clara up to strong until meta tier, because Clara is one of the few Esper that can provide AoE immunity as well, and then not to mention it's a healer and also AP pushing. So I would definitely push Clara higher tier, but this Clara here is R2. If R6, I will definitely even push higher, because R6 can cleanse even more debuff, and cleanse and immunity is actually very high value in the current PvP environment, so I will push Clara one tier higher as well. Then meta Liling here, personally I would say he is very strong, but not until meta, so I'll put him at strong. Why? Because he needs a specific very strong team to support him. He needs like Chuyao, Luxiang, Yijing here to make him work. And even when you use meta Liling, right, like one of my previous video that I showcased about meta Liling, one of his biggest weakness is Momo. And for those players who have been playing for these few months, if you just join the championship, you already have Momo. When you have Momo, you don't even afraid of meta Liling, because meta Liling does a lot of Avatara, does a lot of assist damage, and all those things will get triggered by Momo. Momo will slowly slash meta Liling out of the combat. So overall, I think meta Liling is strong, but not meta tier. Meta Liling is strong, but not meta tier. So in my opinion, I'll put him as strong tier, not until meta tier. Maybe meta Yunchuan appearance will change his tier, but overall now in PvP situation, personally I'll put him at strong tier when he's at R2. R2, R4 and R6, that's a different case, but at least at R2 I'll put him at strong tier. Then the last one, Zihe. Zihe, I'll definitely push her at WTAF tier. She is not OP because of her damage. She don't really do a lot of damage in rival rune situation, right? Unless you build her with DPS set. Like one of the video showcase I put is the DPS Zihe. So Zihe here, because of her appear, she is one of the main counter for you to counter Wu Yu in a safer way, right? And then Zihe, you will see in a PvP team now, a lot of player is actually using Zihe. In defense team as well, or attack team as well, a lot of player is using Zihe because of her very consistent stun, consistent stone, and it's an AoE effect, and then all those damage taken increase, damage deal reduce, defense reduction, and then we have a lot of special turn Esper. Let's say like Anna is a special turn Esper, Everett is a special turn Esper, Petros is a half special turn Esper, Wu Yu is a special turn Esper, Sujie counter attack, the S3 counter attack trigger thing is also a special turn Esper. Chuyao's assist is a special turn. Momo assist is a special turn. Moriyama's passive trigger is a special turn. So we have a lot of special turn trigger meta Esper, and because of Zihe appearance, they will lower down their value. Lower down their value doesn't mean that they are not strong, just that overall, maybe last time you can one-shot them, now you're not able to one-shot. But of course, she is also easy to get counter. Let's say like Tolan can just instantly ban Zihe out of combat. So Zihe is not really a very big threat, but she is still definitely worth it until this tier, to be honest, in my opinion, right? I think that she worth that tier value, because I have seen a lot of performance. She's doing perfectly well, and she's actually very balanced as per, or perfectly balanced as per. Like, she won't instantly break the whole meta. Like, you know, how do I define break the meta? Like, when Wu Yu team appear, every single team outside the PvP we are looking at is only Wu Yu team. That's how I differentiate they break the meta. Now, Zihe appearance, right? Zihe team had a lot of different kind. They have Moriyama team, there's like Meta Liling team, there's like even Wu Yu team plus Zihe. Someone is using Iki plus Zihe. So Zihe appearance changed the meta, but everyone will use a different team. But when last time Wu Yu team appear, everyone is just using the pure Wu Yu team, right? So, and she's also easy to counter. Like I mentioned, Toller is like one of the free-to-play Esper, can counter Zihe as well. Why I mentioned free-to-play? Because one of the Shimmer Reverb Esper everyone will recommend is either Tolan or Anna. Okay, so basically this is the new tier list I will go for. Keep note, this is a PvP tier list based on the priority beside that, and it's a R2 tier list. Okay, so hope this tier list actually help those players who are looking for it. This is an updated one, and then I'll update another one and after like another 2 months. Usually I'll update the tier list every 2 months, so it will keep up the meta. Only with that they have that big changes. Like Zihe changes, I think it's pretty massive, so that's why I make the tier list video. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down what you guys think about it and share your thoughts as well, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Molkut Regally, The Blue Chilane, Yaki Shiba Tails, Kemi, thank you so much for the support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Acne, Code Wardeners, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwalks, Rimu, Choni, Von Hexa, Antonio Winterspoon, Marlene Williams, Uncle Chat, Eric Mendes, Craigreen, Riku Fred X Iris, Calamity, Jordan Alons, Rocco Stanzions. Thank you so much for your support. And that's not all. Also special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. So special thanks to Ziggy, Calamity, Acne, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Johnny. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.